What's up, y'all? We back with another Stride session. We got Senator Doug McCrory here with us. He's here to stride with 5. For those of you who don't know Doug McCrory.
Well, my name is Doug McCrory. Some of y'all call me Mr. McCrory. Some of y'all call me Senator McCrory, but most people call me Doug. I'm from Hartford, born and raised, North End, Granby Street, from Granby to Blue Hills Avenue. And I'm your state senator. Been holding it down for 8 years in that position. Before that, I was your state rep. I repped this area for 12 years. And I'm currently a resident on Blue Hills Avenue in Hartford.
What does it mean to hold that position and be from Hartford?
Man, it means a whole lot, man. Historically, when you think historically, when it comes to politics, the city of Hartford was the first city to elect a black senator in the state of Connecticut. So being in that role is very important. It holds a lot of responsibility to represent this community. I love doing it because I'm from here, I understand the people here. I'm a part of the people here. I was born and raised here. This community helped raise me when I was a young man. It's this neighborhood that I'm walking in right now. And when I became an educator, I helped educate the rest of the few generations after me. So this position means a lot to me. It's very important, and it's a position that I have to use to uplift my community and uplift my people.
So you talked about teaching and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. So obviously you've been involved in politics and education. Oh, wow. Politics and education. What is it that you think that Hartford students need right now that adults still aren't willing to give them?
You know, I don't know if they're willing to get them, but I know our kids need people that believe in them, you know? And that's deep because children pick up things very easily, and they know when an adult cares about them. And when you give that spark in a person's back to say, I know I believe in you, regardless of where you're from, or what you do, or how you behave, regardless of your test scores, I believe in you and I see something in you. And our kids need that inspiration, that they know that adults actually do care about them and want them to be successful. That's the first thing our kids need. The next thing our kids need, they need representation. They need to see people like them, that look like them, that understand them in their classrooms, understand what they're going through, and change curriculum, make sure that curriculum that they're reading looks like them. And that was one of the things I was able to do when I was an educator. And I took that understanding of education and being representing of it to make sure our children learn about their history and their culture, and pass legislation to make sure we learn about our history and culture.
Well, you mentioned, obviously, teaching again. You keep mentioning students. What's something that being a teacher to those students, right, taught you that helped you be, or helped you do your job the way that you do it?
Right. So I was one of those young men, just like a lot of young boys in this city. When I was young, I wanted to go to the NBA. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go to the NBA, but I did get a free education out of it. And when I was working on my master's degree, right after I got my undergrad degree, which was in economics, called Understated Finance Money, I went back to my middle school, Fox Middle School, and was a substitute teacher. And when I was substitute teaching, you know, I noticed I made a good connection with those young people. Unfortunately, I stepped out into the professional world for a year. It only lasted 1 year because my community started to change. Now, if you think about this is the late 80s, early 90s, crack epidemic and all the things that was going on, our community was falling apart, and I needed to do something about it. And my contribution in changing my community was going back into my community and educating young folks about another pathway of getting out of this situation that they are in. So I went back to school. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? How you doing?
All right. So I went back and became an educator because I know that's the fastest and best pathway to change your situation, to be an educated young person. And I knew the way to do it because I knew how to relate to them.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how it prepared me to be a legislator. It was serving my community as an educator first. And then the people in this community asked me to run for office. They asked me to be a teacher. I started teaching my first year, Sarah J. Ralston School.
Oh, wow. Word.
Same neighborhood I grew up with. I started teaching my friends' kids. And it's been in that field so long, now I'm educating my students' children. So, you know, it's a great neighborhood, great community, you know. I came up here, many of my teachers lived in this neighborhood.
Word.
They went to school, they taught me. They went to the same church. They went to the same grocery store, you know. So it made this community very welcoming, and a place that we know that if we put the right people in front of them, with the right attitude and the right belief system, that we can win and we can be successful.
When people talk about like Hartford's North End, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think people misunderstand the most about the people who live there. Wow. And my boy, like just so y'all know, we really be moving. You see the stride session, got my boy sweating. This is real sweat equity right here.
It's 90 degrees out here, man.
You know, so what do you think people misunderstand the most about the people that live here?
Man, they don't understand that, you know, especially in this neighborhood where I live in. People that live here have been living here for a long time. They don't move. This is a beautiful neighborhood that we live in here. I think they don't understand that. You know, they talk about the negative things, but there's a lot of great things, a lot of support with each other. People don't understand that culturally, it's very dynamic. You got people from the West Indians, you got people that came up from down south, you got blended families. There's a lot of good things here. It's unfortunate that a lot of it don't get displayed when you see us, when we talk on the news and things like that. But the people here, they care about each other, they look out for each other, they know each other, and they support each other. And that's how we've been able to survive without the resources that we necessarily need. But we figured it out, and we'll continue to figure it out.
All right, like that. What do you think accountability looks like from the elected officials, right? Mm-hmm. And not just during the election, right? Yeah. But after they win, and they feel comfortable, and they don't feel like they gotta show face and go to parties and go to cookouts and send out text messages and show up at events. Like once all that is done, right? Yeah. And you guys are secure in your position. What does that look like, right? What does accountability look like?
I think one of the things you just said in your question is your answer. Showing up, being present, being available, answering phone calls, representing. When your people need you, be there. And you can look at my history, you talk to people around here, one thing they know about me, I'm the easiest person to get in touch with, and everybody know where I live. So I think being accountable is showing up, responding to the needs of the people in the community. On a larger scale, it's setting good policy. So, you know, when we at the state level, we set policy for the entire state, but we like to make sure that policy will benefit the people in your community, and also bringing back resources to your community. So that's how I think. That's being held accountable. Answering that phone when people reach out to you, picking them up, being that when someone passed away, being there for them. You know, when somebody need help or opportunity, lending a hand. So when a young person like yourself, or somebody that we know that came through a system, an educational system that they know been properly prepared, you got to open the door and find a way for them so they can lift up the next person. Because I'm not gonna be here forever.
You feel like there's a lot of gatekeeping that happens in that environment?
I think historically it's been a lot of gatekeeping. I think it's not as much as it used to be. Yeah. But I still think there's people that could give people opportunities, because I know there's a lot of talent in our community. Yeah. And if you just unleash that talent and give these folks, young people, opportunities, they're gonna demonstrate how good they are. I bank on my people all day, and I believe they have the ability, if given the opportunity, to be successful.
What is it that someone like yourself does when it comes to like being grounded or staying yourself? Like what keeps you and not letting like your title turn you into somebody that you once would have frowned upon?
I'm balanced. I think the way I was raised, what I learned from my father when I was a kid, he was a serial entrepreneur. He was a businessman. He was a contractor. He instilled values of hard work and giving back at a very early age. My dad had a store on the corner of Garden and Martha Street when I was 4 years old. I watched how he interacted with my community. He had a relationship with the Panthers. He had a relationship with parents. He had a relationship with people that came into his store. My mother, she worked 40 years on the Pratt & Whitney factory floor to make sure our children, or her children, had a roof over her head. And she instilled the values of me. Went to church at a very early age, so I had my spiritual groundedness. And like I said, the people in this community, you know, educated me. You know, Mr. Hunter was my first basketball coach. He was my gym teacher. He also went to my same church. Yeah. So they brought those values that I didn't know about when it came to education from the South. They went to historically black colleges and universities. They came up here and taught us about fraternities and sororities and what was life like for them growing up down in the South. So all those things incorporated. I had great mentors like Bill Brown, Sadiq Ali. You saw a vision that, you know, our young boys needed something a little different. And as soon as he called me, I said, let's go do it. You know, all those things grounded me. And also, I come home every day. Shoot, I go to the Capitol, but the Capitol's right down the street. I got to come back here every morning. Yeah. I got people going to see me. Because I got to see the people that I represent. Word. So all those things combined keeps me grounded.
So as a black man yourself, right, and a person that's from this community, do you think that the requirements, what people require of you, right, do you feel like that bar is higher than the other people who will hold that same position but that don't look like it?
Should be. It should be.
Okay.
I have a responsibility and an obligation.
Yeah.
If I don't do it, who's gonna do it? Nobody in this community has to depend on nobody else. They should depend on the people that's from this community. So, yeah, the bar is high, but I didn't get in this to underwhelm anyone. I got in this position, an elected official, because this community asked me to do it.
Right.
And when the old adults, the elders ask you to do something, you don't have a choice. This is not about me. This is about us and providing opportunities for us. So yeah, the bar is high, but I don't mind raising the bar.
Okay.
You know, that's why it's there.
What would your message be to young black and brown brothers who aren't sure what they want to do with themselves at 20 years old or even 30 years old, right?
Yep.
What would your message be to them?
Don't quit. You're gonna figure it out. Don't quit. Another thing I want to tell you, it ain't nothing wrong with you. When you see these systems in play that's been around for years that held you back, yeah, it's those systems. I know one thing that, you know, we deal with generational trauma in this community because for years our community's been neglected. But now we have opportunities where we get the resources and we got the people who, you know, that understand our community like yourself. You do a lot of stuff with therapy. I think that's very important when you have people from your community that understand what you're going through and they can relate to it because they've been through it or their mama did been through it, their auntie or cousin. You can communicate to them in a way that makes them understand. And I think that's very important. So I tell our young brothers that don't quit. Don't you ever quit. And don't cop out by taking somebody else's life or not doing something that you know you can do. And when you find somebody that you believe in, that they know they can help you, you grab onto them. You grab every little piece of information you get from them. You learn from them. You stay on their ass because they have an obligation to give you what they have, to pour into you. So I said, do that, young brothers and sisters. Do that, especially you young brothers, because I know what the numbers look like, but I know what they can be. And we continue to uplift each other, we're gonna be all right.
Right.
We're gonna be all right.
Well, I know we talked about the students and what you think they need, but we just talked about the young black brothers or men of color in general, the young ones. What do you think they need more of? Like whether it's resources, whether it's discipline, whether it's mentorship, opportunity. What do you think that
All of the above. All of the above. Opportunities, one. Mentorship, two. They also need knowledge, right? They need understanding. And they need to be taught because, to be honest with you, until I graduated from college, my dad sat me down and said, here, I need you to read this book. Right? My dad never went to college. Neither nobody in my parents went. He probably was the smartest man I ever known. He said, read this book. It's about this man named Paul Robeson. I never learned about him. But I read his story, and I said, man, I need to bring some of that back to our community. I need to bring some of all that knowledge back and wisdom to our community. So I think they need more of an opportunity, someone to give them a second and maybe a third chance, you know? Because when you don't get it at an early age, you grow up thinking that some things are impossible for you. And you get to an age where you get to 16, 17, 18, 19 years, and you don't see success on the horizon, people drop out for a whole reason. They just do all our things. But if you look at some of the most talented people in our community, a lot of them never, or in our culture, Jay-Z, people like that, these young people were smart as heck. They ain't never left high school. They never made it through high school.
Right.
But they had the ability to know how they knew what they wanted doing. So again, our young people need opportunities.
Right.
You know, whether it's going to their own, making their own businesses, they need opportunity to learn how to build relationships with females and just be in relationships with themselves.
Right.
You know, they need to learn that. There's no book that can tell you that. You learn by experience or you learn by advice. So we need to expose our young people and give them more opportunities for them to come to tell us what they need. Because everyone's unique. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
You know, you live in this neighborhood, grew up here, went to school here. Your need might be different from a whole different dude across the street.
For sure.
Because you don't know what that person's background is. You don't know what their history back is. You don't
What
know
they
their
going through at
relationship.
home.
Right. Well, you don't know what's going on in their house.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody needs certain things. And we need more opportunities to have those conversations. I'm really impressed with my man Abdul Muhammad of his manhood circles. But what he does, he brings in people from all different parts of our community. And we talk about these things as adults. Now we need to open up those opportunities for young adults to have them come talk to us about what their needs and concerns are. I think that's something that we need.
All right. when your time in office is like over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is gonna happen. That's inevitable, right? What do you want people to say that you actually changed, right, for Hartford families?
I want them to say, when I leave his older son, I want people to remember me as a person that he did the best he can for his community. And I want people to see change in our community. I want them to see more young entrepreneurs in our community. That's what I want to be left with. I want to inspire the next generation of young black men who want to be educators. Because I'm an educator because I have a strong black educator when I was in elementary school.
Right.
I want to see that. I want to see our women uplifted. I want to see our families come together. Those are some of the things I want to see left when I leave office. And what I want to do, I don't want to pass the torch. I want to light the next person's torch and be in the background and guide that person to continue to do the work that needs to be done. Because we need continuity in our community. We don't need stop and go, stop and go. We need people to understand this community, that's willing to fight for this community, and we need to stand up for this community at every level of government. That's what I want to see happen when I'm gone. That I help create a whole group of people that can pick up the torch and keep it moving.
Got you. How is it that with the responsibilities that's in place, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the opinions of others,
Mm-hmm.
with the weight that you put on yourself, scrutiny,
Yep.
being called this or that, how do you balance your mental health and all of that?
That's a good question, man. Long story short, I've been doing this for 22 years. The last couple of years, I had to go to therapy myself. I didn't realize that I need counseling myself. I need to be able to bounce things off people. Yeah, this is a heavy crown to wear, no joke. Because I know I gotta be conscious how I walk, how I talk, how I dress. All those things are very important to me because I know when I leave from my community and go up to the Capitol, I'm representing all of us.
Right.
I ain't giving nobody no chance to talk bad about me or my community. So that's a huge responsibility that most legislators don't have. They just go in there, pass laws, do bills. Nah, I gotta represent a certain way because I know I'm always under a microscope. And when I'm attacked, my community's attacked. But also when I fight, my community fight for me too.
Right.
So that's the difference. Therapy is very important. Knowing your mental health is extremely important. This job is very painstaking when you're doing it right. You might lose your marriage. You might get distracted from your kids. All those things, I've seen them come in play. I see a lot of my colleagues go through those things. I've been through it myself.
Yeah.
So you gotta be mentally strong, but also have a good support system. So when you come home, when it's tough,
Right.
But I got people that call me and remind me and say, be strong.
Yeah.
You're all right. I saw you. Keep doing your thing. Those things keep me grounded, and those things keep my mental health straight. It ain't nothing wrong with talking. Communicating is not important. It's not bad at all. I think if people need to understand, what I learned in therapy is that, it ain't no one right answer. And you can get to an answer multiple different ways. So just being able to communicate with someone that look like me, that may know what I'm going through, then understand me, and it can communicate to me what I need in a way that is receptive for me, benefits myself a very lot.
Word.
Yeah.
I think obviously as a therapist myself, it feels good to hear you say that. Mainly because a person of your stature and your job title, you got to make decisions. Mm-hmm. And I like to often say even when the leader is wrong,
right,
he's still the leader.
Absolutely.
But that could feed an ego that is leading people the wrong direction.
Right.
So to hear you say that, it does feel good, especially with us both being black men. And you also mentioned too, like that your community, when you fight for your community, that your community fights for you. And obviously you've been dealing with a lot in the media lately and all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. How good did it know to feel that, it's two sides to it, right? You got people that support you and people that don't. How did that feel to know who supported you and who didn't?
I ain't gonna say the name. I'll say it after Tuesday, after this election. There was a person in our community. Once I evaluated what I was gonna do and I decided that I was gonna run again, there's a sister in this community who came to me immediately, and said, let's go. And we went to the hood. We went to the Avenue.
Yeah.
We went to Kennedy Park. We went to Waverly. And everybody said, we with you. We got you. We understand. Man, you know how much that battery put in my back that I need to hear that? People don't know that. Just hearing that my people told me I'm with you, I'm 10 toes down, man, that was a blessing. That was a blessing. And those are the little things that most people don't get. They don't understand when you're doing this work. They see that what you see on TV, they see all that stuff. But it's the small things, for me personally, that give me that energy to keep on doing what you're doing. And once I got that reassurance,
Right.
I'm ready. And we're gonna be ready.
Yeah.
And my people will speak on Tuesday.
Oh, I'm gonna do one with Doug. I'm gonna reach out and see what they say. Oh, ask him about the money. Oh,
Right,
ask him
right.
about this.
Yeah,
Oh, where the money at?
right.
My thing is, I've never been on the campaign of tear the black man down.
Yep.
Somebody else is gonna do it.
Let somebody else do that.
Right. But I am always gonna give someone a voice to speak about something and always provide different perspective.
Right.
And you mentioned earlier, like having people behind you when that scrutiny was taking place. After that, to see like, yo, the people that might have thought I forgot about them, or I might have been like, oh, they're good,
right,
and I didn't check on them enough, they were still there.
They was there.
And I know that made you feel good.
Absolutely.
So for the people who are on the other side of that, right?
Yeah.
Like, yo, man, where the money at? Yo, what's this? Yo, what's that? What would be your response to those people?
Those people, it's unfortunate that we have in our society that people want to see you fail. There's a population of people that's cheering for your failure so they can go on social media and talk about it. But also there's another population of people that's rooting for you, that's cheering for you. What I'll say to those other folks is, unless you know me, and most people in this community knows me, they knows my character, they know my mama, my daddy, my niece, my nephews, my cousins, and they know I have an obligation and responsibility to this community. And I'm never gonna do anything to hurt this community. So if they wanna know about this, that, and the other, eventually they'll find out, the information's gonna come out. But I stand tall on what I've done and what I will continue to do to deliver and provide opportunities for people, for organizations in our community. I stand on that 10 toes down, and that's what I'm gonna continue to do.
Word. Now, I might know you, some people may know you, but some people do not, right? And for the people that was on the fence or might have lost hope on you or faith in you because they read some articles about some funds or they read this about some budget cuts, why should they vote for Doug?
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm educated 34 years. I'm the first educator and I'm the first black person to ever chair the education committee in the state of Connecticut. That's historic. I know what I'm talking about because I've done it, and I know what our kids need and our families and our children need. That's one reason. Another reason is there's a couple more things I want to get accomplished. I want to see hold this city accountable for what it was supposed to be doing for us. So I got some more things I want to get done, and it's going to take me a couple more years to get them done. So if you want to see them done, you vote for me. I have the support of every legislator, Democratic senator in the state of Connecticut. More importantly, I have the support of my community. I might not have been endorsed, but I've been endorsed by these people. And if they want to continue to see the work that we have done over the years, you let me continue doing my work and let me pass this torch and light the next person's torch when I'm done. So we can have continuity, consistency, and leadership for the next generation. Those are the reasons I think you should vote for me. I am of this community. I still live in this community. I ain't left it. I taught my child to be an educator. I ain't leave it, and this community never left me. So let's hold hands and keep working together and keep building and keep growing.
I think the last question, this is just a personal question for me, not from the people. As an educator, a former athlete, you understand like how emotions are tied into things.
Yeah.
As an educator, you understand the importance of summer camps and rec centers,
all that.
Bose Park,
Had it all.
Boys Club, and
Had it all.
Parker, Pope, et cetera, et cetera. How do you feel about this question? Well, it's a two-part question. How do you feel about it, and what do you think should change as far as you being behind it? I feel like in our rec centers, we should have social workers. Like
therapists.
Yeah, inside the rec centers, inside like Pope, Boys Club, not ones that's also part of Parks and Recs, separate in Parks and Recs, because the youth is.
Man, you ain't gotta ask me no more. I already see where you're going with that. You said something I have never thought of that.
Yeah.
Because I was a kid that went to the rec when I was after school. When I went to Andy Fisher, we had rec for us after school. Then when I got to middle school, I went to the club, Boys and Girls Club. We had people there, but it was recreational. It was sports fun. But in this day and age, with a generational trauma since the crack epidemic, we need other people in those positions that are not there to play sports, but actually have someone to talk to. Now we had it, but it was informal. Those brothers was there. They wasn't therapists, but they gave you what you needed.
Right.
Nowadays, we need that person with the training that you have, so we can communicate a little better and get talk to these young people and find out what's going on, what's troubling, what's bothering.
Right.
You know, we need people that can go into these communities not afraid. Like, you ain't afraid to go into where the action is. A lot of people got the credentials, but they ain't going to Clark Street. They ain't going on Barber Street.
Right.
Right? So we need people. That's why it's important to have people from this community that understand the dynamics to work with our young folks.
Right.
That's the difference from me when I was coming up, going to the rec, going to the club, you know, going to the Y, than what is needed now.
Right. All right, so that's it for the Stride session today as we strive with 5. But before we finish up, one, let them know when the election is and where they can find you at.
Election is August 11th. That's this Tuesday coming up. You can vote early now until Sunday. Go out and make sure your voice is heard, because if you don't vote, you really don't have a voice. And, and vote somebody that understands you. Somebody like me, who ain't gonna quit on you, who gonna speak truth to power. I already done it, and I will continue to do it. Matter of fact, because of this community, I'm gonna double down on it. We're gonna be all right. I'm gonna bring them resources back. I'm gonna set good policy to change, and we're gonna continue to uplift our people. Peace.
He said, basically, don't worry about the social media because he really outside. You know where to find him at. He said, I'm in the same community. But that was it, man. Appreciate you striding with me today. Stride session. Putting in that sweat equity. See y'all on the next episode of Striding with 5. 5 out.